Well, with us now live is Reverend David Bullock, head of the group Change Agent Consortium, and Rick Ector, local gun rights activist. Rick, let's begin with you because you are a gun owner, a man who teaches the proper use of weapons for self-protection, but you are also a man who has been profiled as a criminal simply because you're black. When you look at this case, is it murder or is it self-defense?
First and foremost, I don't believe that the prosecution has made its case that this actually rises to the level of murder. You know, I get what a lot of people are feeling with respect to the whole profile aspect. I've been profiled by Detroit Police Department's gang squad because I, for whatever reason, look like a criminal. But at the end of the day, the prosecution did not make its case. Following someone does not rise to the level of using lethal force to pummel and to take someone's head and to bash it into the concrete.
Reverend Bullock, the defense attorney admitted today in his closing arguments that George Zimmerman used some terrible words to describe a teenager, calling him a freaking punk. But that is not against the law. And if indeed Trayvon Martin was on top of Zimmerman, beating him, doesn't Zimmerman have the right to fight back?
You know what, Hugh, great question. Obviously, terrible language in this case, terrible denigration of Trayvon Martin, and of course that is not against the law. But I believe that the case has been made. If Zimmerman had done what he was supposed to do, namely see and call, if he wasn't a hot dog, if he didn't follow Trayvon, then we wouldn't be here today mourning the loss of Trayvon and the destruction of Zimmerman's life. And so this stand your ground legislation is bad legislation. We've got to do something about it.
But Rick, so is this case about stand your ground, or is it about staying in your car when the dispatcher tells you not to follow the guy in the hoodie?
You know, it's really interesting when you hear these anti-gun folks want to lay a siege against stand your ground. The bigger issue is the Fifth Amendment. Do you have a right to due process? The thing is that in this country, it must be proven beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty of a crime. Not because Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton came into town to scratch off scabs off of old racial wounds to incite people to inflame them against each other. This would not have been a major issue had they not came to Sanford, Florida. We have 411 people who are killed in the city of Detroit, over 500 people who are killed in the city of Chicago. This has been an issue that should not have been blown up into the national media.
Well, Reverend, Rick is making the point here that a lot of our viewers are making too, that we in the media, many in the public are ignoring the bigger problem. In Detroit, Chicago, Atlanta, young black men are more of a threat to other young black men than any neighborhood volunteer.
Indeed, we are dealing with the hate that hate made. We need a massive job program. We need a massive reform in education. We've got to save the African-American males in many of the urban ghettos in Detroit, Chicago, Gary, Indiana, around the nation. And so, yes, we must focus on the larger systemic problem. But let us not lose sight of the fact that George Zimmerman murdered Trayvon Martin, and he should be held accountable for that crime, while we look forward to trying to figure out how we can save all of those would-be Trayvons in the cities around this nation so they can live the American dream.
Gentlemen, before we go, we have 6 people on the jury, all of them women, 5 of them white. How do you think they'll decide? Murder, manslaughter, or not guilty? Rick, let's begin with you.
If they go based strictly on the evidence presented in this court and notice that Jackson and Sharpton were not presenting evidence, they have no other recourse than to find Zimmerman not guilty.
Reverend Bullock.
I think they're going to see this as a straight murder. Unfortunately, a young man lost his life, and he was not supposed to. And I think that they're going to see this the way the rest of America sees it.
And I know you're both on the same side, praying and hoping for no violence in the wake of the verdict, no matter what happens.
That's right.
I
That's right. We want everyone to stay
to
safe and to be peaceful no matter what happens.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you. Of course, we invite you to share your opinions on the Zimmerman trial. What do you think? You can sound off on Facebook, Twitter, or myfoxdetroit.com. We might even use your comments on the air.
Is it okay for him to get some kind of, not to smack on the hand? What is the justice for this?
A DJ killed during an altercation with a firefighter. 6 months later, his family waits for justice and wonders if the shooter is being given a free pass.
When applying for a job, there's something that you should ask for, something you want from the company. What it is coming up in the Job Shop.
She had nothing left to say, so she said she loved me. I stood there grateful for
It's a Fox Be Free Friday. We're giving away tickets to see Under the Sun Tour featuring Smash Mouth, Sugar Ray, and Gin Blossoms. They're playing at DTE Energy Music Theater July 21st. For your chance to win, guess the name of this song. If you think you have the answer, head to myfoxdetroit.com. We'll announce the winner just before The Edge at 11.